so incredibly competitive, and it does come down to just not making mistakes. No pressure, of course, on these crews. But we see them take off. It's the men's varsity lightweight 8 grand final. It's a race for medals, and it's truly anyone on the podium today. We have a beautiful shot then here of that start. It's Cornell, Princeton, Columbia, Yale, Penn, and Navy as they move through the starting blocks and into the first 250 meters of their race. It's a clean start and a fair start. We now start to get a sense of margins. An aggressive start for Yale, Steve.
Yeah, Yale, really sharp, good experience, a ton of coaching experience. Coach Andy Cart's guys are always dialed in at the IRA. We've got Cornell there in lane number 1 running right with them. I'm going to say it's foul ball for foul ball. Maybe Cornell with the edge over Yale right now, but it's very tightly packed amongst the whole field. Cornell in 1, Princeton 2, Columbia 3, Yale in 4. Those 2 outside lanes are Pennsylvania, your Eastern Sprints champions, and then the Navy lightweights in lane number 6, the bottom edge of the screen. We've got a fantastic race on our hands.
Yeah, and we've mentioned it before, but it bears repeating. Pennsylvania, of course, with an incredible win at the Eastern Sprints from an outside lane. So didn't quite show their hand in the heat, but put on a spectacular show in the final. So I'm sure they've had quite an inspired couple of weeks of practice, and now is the time to put it all together and to test their final speed against all of these top-notch crews. Still a tightly packed field as we move into the second quarter of the race. Penn's in it. Yale, of course, keeping themselves out. Then over to Cornell. We saw a great start from Cornell. We'll see if they can hold it in the body.
Big start from Cornell. They are hungry. Cornell, if you were watching the Eastern Sprints, you did not see them in the grand final of Eastern Sprints. A little bit of revenge kind of taking it right now for the Big Red in lane number 1. Coach Chris Kerber's guys, they've won 3 of the last 5 championships here at the IRA. Columbia's taken 2 of the other ones. In the last 5 years, it's kind of been Columbia and Cornell out in front of the lightweight field. Today at Lake Natoma, it's Cornell out in front of the lightweight field. The Big Red showing off that boat speed right now. Look at Cornell perform. Today, they want to own this race. They've taken control of it. Pennsylvania in that solid second position. Lane number 4, Yale, with Pennsylvania right beside them. Can Penn use that aggressiveness that they used at Eastern Sprints and move up and contend?
And Freddie, we'll hand it over to you on the water as they move through the 1,000.
Well, thank you so much. It is Pennsylvania making a big press now to come up and take second. Cornell really hasn't had a great start in the heats or the preparation. We saw them a little bit slow off the line, but boy, are they a determined bunch. They were not happy about not making the final of the Eastern Sprints, and they lead by a full length. The Tigers, not to be denied, are starting to press in this third 500. And it's really going to be a charge for the silver and the bronze. I think Cornell, there's no way they're going to cough this up with a full-length advantage. Yale and Columbia side by side, just a bow ball separating them apart, and Navy just about 7 or 8 seats back of that pack. Princeton taking a push now, is taking silver away from Pennsylvania. But Pennsylvania only a half a deck ahead of Columbia. Cornell looks so smooth and so in control over there. But here come the Tigers. They have a tremendous sprint. Talked to Coach Crowdy before, and he said those boys know how to lay it on in the last 600, and here they come. So Pennsylvania and Princeton really going for that silver. Columbia and Yale just trying to hang on and go with them. Princeton doing all they can, but it's Cornell way front. Pennsylvania and Princeton vying back and forth for that silver medal. I'll turn it over to the tower with Princeton making a move on Cornell and then hanging on with Princeton.
All right, so yeah, what a race, the Big Red, that experience of Cornell out in front, just chipping along. What rhythm, what performance here by the Big Red. But that is true, the Tigers, look at that, move the hull speed, that's what they want to do. That Princeton crew is really cranked through in this second 1,000. They're moving. Penn running in that third place position with Yale very close to them. Here we are. Sorry, that was Columbia very close to them in that third position, but Cornell with a fantastic race today. What a change from the Eastern Sprints. The Big Red are really, really hungry this morning here. So Cornell along the shore looking great in the red. That's Cornell, lane number 1, going for the win with the Tigers flying. The Tigers are flying up for the finish. Cornell pressing. Princeton trying their hardest, really. Princeton cranking the rate up. Wow, what a sprint from Princeton. But Cornell crossing the line just maybe less than a deck in front of Princeton, with Penn in that solid third place position ahead of Columbia, Yale, and Navy. What a great race. Execution. That was what you want from Cornell and Princeton. Man, what an effort to change their boat speed and go for a medal and go for that win. Princeton.
Redemption for Cornell, no doubt about it. They earned every bit of it. A phenomenal race from Cornell. They just held and held and held as the competition got hotter behind them. And of course, Steve, as you said, a late charging Princeton, but just not quite enough. I think I had them at a 43, maybe even a 43 and a half at the end. But huge credit to the Big Red Cornell.
Yeah, what a race from Cornell to just execute